Nikola Jokic has a very difficult decision in front of him. Decide whether or not he'll continue chasing rings with the Nuggets. The team led by Josh Kroenke is unwilling to trade big pieces and reshuffle the entire team to assess the depth issue that Jokic has warned of. But will this be big enough of a reason for Jokic to wait one more year before deciding whether or not he'll sign a new contract with Denver? And in case he does, how much money is he going to earn by being patient and assessing the NBA market? The situation in Denver is not looking great. For yet another season, they've wasted another prime season of Nikola Jokic with a second-round exit. Apart from the Pacers, the Nuggets were the only team that was able to take the Thunder to a 7-game series. But when you don't win, it doesn't really matter. Nikola became the first player in the NBA to finish in the top 3 in terms of points, assists, and rebounds per game. Not to mention the fact that he finished the season with a triple-double. It wasn't enough to earn the MVP award or to make a deeper playoff run. According to Jokic, the problem was crystal clear. The Nuggets need depth, and the teams with longer benches are the ones that managed to reach the finals. Furthermore, Jokic said, "We definitely need it. It seems like the teams that have longer rotations and longer benches are the ones that are winning. I mean, we didn't win a championship this year, so obviously we can't with the current constellation." And you might think, why do these statements matter when it comes to Jokic's future with the Nuggets? Well, it's quite simple. He is not happy with how the team is being led and is not afraid to speak out loudly. He didn't do this in order to criticize the leadership of Denver. He could have done that behind closed doors as well. But what he did let everyone know out there is that if the situation doesn't change in the Nuggets, then he'll be open to thinking about a move elsewhere. It does sound a bit far-fetched from this point of view, but when you break down the analysis, it makes a lot of sense to commit to such a move. It puts the team in a great dilemma as well. They are already deep in luxury tax with players like MPJ, Murray, and Aaron Gordon. If Jokic decides to sign this year's extension, then Denver would have to trim depth or risk massive tax bills. On top of that, they fired Coach Malone and the general manager Booth just a couple of games before the playoffs, so it's not like Nikola has full trust in the current structure of the team. Whether you like it or not, there is a big risk that Jokic would leave Denver at the age of 31 before even securing a massive deal with the franchise. Of course, injuries can always happen, and while we pray that they won't ruin the career of Jokic, we've seen how it changes the perspective of a team with Boston and Tatum when the superstar tore his ACL in the playoffs. So, what's next for the Serbian big? Belief from the media is that Jokic will wait out this year and sign the extension with the Nuggets in the upcoming one, because loyalty comes at a price. Let's not forget that he's been through thick and thin with this team, and if he dodges this year's extension, he would allow his team to have a bit more money to shop around for superstars. On top of that, they now have the opportunity to add Kevin Durant to their team, and it might be a chance to change the entire outlook of the Nuggets. Elaborating further on the Jokic scenario with the Nuggets, Mark Kisla from the Denver Gazette went on to write, "When Jokic puts down that hard-earned beer, he needs to turn up the pressure on Kroenke. The path of least resistance for Jokic would be to grab a pen this summer and sign a $212 million contract extension. And he's as loyal as a Serbian summer day is long. But the power play would be for Joker to politely decline that money now and wield a velvet hammer over the Nuggets with a reasonable demand to improve the roster, whether by trade, hook, or crook." Josh Kroenke has also been very vocal about the problems of his team. They are ready to make changes, but not big ones that would offset the dynamic of the squad. What this means is that pieces like Murray or Porter Jr. might not be moved in the offseason, and practically Denver will go into the next season with more or less the same core. It would be a good thing for Nikola to wait out this season and see how it pans out before he signs a contract in the upcoming one, not just for the massive amount of money that he'll receive extra, but also because of evaluating the NBA market. If Jokic were to continue the collaboration with Denver this year, he could sign a 3-year, $210 million contract with his team. However, if he decides to wait until next year, he would be eligible to sign a $294 million extension over 4 years. But what matters here is the salary cap. Jokic is currently set to earn $61.4 million in the upcoming year, the last one of the Supermax extension. That number would be around 40 to 42% of the projected salary cap, and if he cries for help, he could address around 40% of those tiers to his contract. I am not saying he doesn't deserve every single penny of it. I am just saying that he is limiting his team from bringing another superstar player next to him. There are other players who are earning massive amounts of cash with the Nuggets, and their performances have been quite questionable. And nobody tops Michael Porter Jr. The current forward of the Nuggets is set to earn around $38 million next year, the third most behind Jokic and Murray. Speaking of his compatriot Jamal Murray, he is poised to cash in around $50 million, an 8% raise from the previous campaign. And if you compare their numbers to the ones of Jokic in terms of points, rebounds, and assists, as well as overall presence on the court, you'd understand why Jokic would want to play with another superstar rather than the ones he has on the court right now. But according to Kroenke, there is a massive shift in the team and a lot of internal problems that need to be addressed from a roster standpoint. Addressing this situation to a greater extent, the president of the Nuggets said, "I think a lot of our answers are internal right now. You know, with where we are from a roster standpoint, we have guys locked into contracts. We're going into a coaching transition, and to be frank, that's a huge change. I know that we've already had DA as our coach for 6 weeks or so, but you know, he didn't really get a chance to really implement any of his own ideas because of the time frame and the time crunch with the playoffs fast approaching. So what should Jokic do here? If he wants help, he needs to let go of the financial luxury with the Nuggets. But in case he does, he'll likely ask the team to apply the same policy to the other superstars who might even get traded. Let's not act like Denver is not looking left and right for potential landing spots for Porter Jr., with the Pelicans and the Heat now being the top candidates for his services. The inconsistency of Michael did hurt the Nuggets a lot in the second round of the playoffs, where he shot only 32% from the field and just 25% from behind the arc. So when it all comes down to it, Jokic needs help in the form of a superstar, something that he is not receiving so far. Why would he pursue this help, you might ask yourself? Apart from the fact that he publicly stated the team cannot win with the current constellation, there is one more thing that you need to know. Jokic is the only MVP in the history of the sport to not play with an all-star, all-defense, or all-NBA player in his career. Even Kevin Garnett played with 5 teammates that made at least one category, and he is considered to be the greatest player with no support during his time with the Timberwolves. Should Jokic take the money and run away with it next year, or should he be careful and allow the team to build around him? That's the million-dollar question that he needs to answer sooner rather than later, because the clock is ticking and so is his age. He won't be 30 forever, and he won't be dominating in the same way that he did in the past couple of years. With all this in mind, what do you think is the smartest decision for Nikola Jokic in the following period? And more importantly, which superstar do you think would fit him the best on the Nuggets? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.